I mean, with all of these things happening across the sports world, do you expect the NBA to give more thought to another bubble-like environment for next season, whether that's one bubble or little pods of bubbles? I know that the players have been pushing back on being away from their families again in any kind of way, but we do see what keeps happening in football.
Yeah, Rachel, I think one of the telling signs is 6-7 weeks ago, the NBA word was, next season, we're absolutely not doing a bubble. And now, last week, I heard them say, next season, we want to have fans, or we're going to be in arenas for at least part of the bubble, for part of the season, right? So they've opened the door to maybe starting the season in a bubble, or bubbles, as you point out, and then transitioning to arenas again, or something more normal. And a lot of that is to do with the science. Remember, this isn't the NBA's decision. We're just going off of what the science is. What do we have available to us? But if we do come into a bubble-type scenario part 2, Rachel, I expect them to do something like stages, where stage 1 is, say, January to mid-February, and then everyone goes home for a week, and you get tested every single day, and you got to keep testing negative, and then you come back for another stage, another 6 weeks, and then back and forth to ease in and soften that harshness of being away from your family.
I mean, you must have been talking to the producer with me, because that's exactly what my idea was. You know, if the NBA is looking at, throwing them back in the bubble, whether it's for part of the season or a whole season, I think it's going to have to be regional bubbles. I don't think you obviously can keep them away from their families and friends that long. And then, like Amin said, it would be a certain amount of time in the bubble. Everyone gets a week off, and then you go to your next bubble. Like I said, I think there should probably be bubbles with different sets of teams around the NBA, but we never know. We're just going to have to see where the world is when the NBA season starts. But, for the football people that have tested positive, this is going to continue to happen, because although you need to move with extreme precaution, you just never know who you've come in contact with and who they've come in contact with. So these people are going from games to practices back home every single day, and we don't really know what that environment's like. So I'm sure no one's out there being reckless, but at the same time, this is going to continue to happen, and this is something they're going to have to deal with, because I don't see college or the NFL going into any kind of bubble situation.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the science and the science dictating a lot of this. First of all, I would like to commend the NBA for leaning so heavily into the science, right? That they really relied on science and scientists to put the bubble together. The idea with masks and testing and distancing and cleanliness and all of those kinds of things, it worked. I mean, they went more than 3 months without a single player testing positive. That is an accomplishment, and I think they will lean into the science again for next season. But what that science is, maybe if it's not a vaccine or antiviral treatment, it might be rapid testing is something that we've heard Adam Silver talk about a lot. And the idea that you could have a 5-minute test result that would tell you, are you allowed to come into the facility today? Are fans allowed to be there? Part of it, though, aside from the science, is how much as a league are they comfortable with risk? And there's always going to be some risk if you leave your house right now, right? All of us face risk if we go to the grocery store, if we come into work, if we do other things like that. And it's just, where is your level of comfort with risk? The NFL and college football have shown that their level of comfort with risk is actually pretty high, right? That they have expected positive tests. Those are built in to kind of the system that they have set up. And hopefully, it was great hearing that Nick Saban is asymptomatic. He is in his late 60s. You hope that having that acceptable level of risk being a little bit higher doesn't result in anyone getting significantly sick or anything worse. And so far, they've been able to move along. We haven't heard of anyone in college football, in NFL, in baseball coming down and being seriously sick. And that's great, right? I mean, that's what you want. So we will see where the level of risk and the science come together. And hopefully, just like those other sports, the NBA can have positive results. Negative positive results, positive negative results, one of those. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.